Chosen one, take a deep breath and let these words resonate within you. You have stumbled upon this message exactly when you were meant to, in the very moment your soul was ready to receive it. Too often, we dismiss timing as coincidence, a random stroke of luck or an unremarkable quirk of circumstance. But if you have felt even the faintest pull in your heart, that spark of recognition, then you know there is more at play. There is a sacred choreography in the universe, one that ensures you arrive at each crucial lesson precisely when you are prepared to integrate it. And here you are now, with open mind and open heart, ready to absorb a truth that might just alter the course of your life. Consider how you reached this point in time. Think of the events, large and small, that lined up in a perfect sequence so you could be in the right place, with just enough curiosity or desperation or longing to press play or read on. Every heartbreak, every victory, every random hunch you followed, they weren't random at all. They were guiding threads, weaving you closer to the message waiting for you here. Yes, it might feel strange to imagine so much intention behind your every step. But if you reflect on the times you've experienced uncanny synchronicities, the moments you met precisely the right person or stumbled upon exactly the resource you needed, you'll recognize a pattern. In those instances, something in you knew to pay attention, to see that you were not wandering aimlessly. This message, too, is part of that tapestry. It is your next breadcrumb, shining in the darkness, pointing you toward the next chapter of your journey. Before we proceed, I want you to pause for a brief but significant moment. If you feel the resonance of these words vibrating with truth, go down to the comments and type the number 777. It's more than a random gesture. It is an intentional act that signals your readiness to embrace the gifts hidden within the paragraphs ahead. By typing 777, you declare to yourself and to the invisible forces guiding you that you are present, that you are here with purpose, that you are open to receiving whatever revelation might unfold. Only those who sense the gravitas of this moment will make that symbolic move. And that's exactly as it should be, because this message, dear chosen one, is intended for those who are truly prepared. So you're here. You are reading, listening, absorbing. Perhaps a soft current of excitement courses through your veins, or maybe a gentle peace settles in your chest. Whatever you feel, trust that these inner signals are part of how your spirit recognizes truth. Sometimes, we get so caught up in the noise of daily life, schedules, obligations, that relentless hum of everything we should be doing, that we forget to honor the quiet guidance of our own hearts. Right now, I invite you to let that guidance speak. Let it soothe the chatter of your mind. Let it remind you that you are not a prisoner of your circumstances. You are an active participant in a grand cosmic dance. A dance that is always conspiring to lead you toward the experiences you're meant to have. When you look back, you might see moments of detour or heartbreak that felt cruel or senseless at the time. But in hindsight, you may also realize that those very detours introduced you to the people or insights that propelled you forward. Painful as they were, each heartbreak taught you about your own capacity to love and to persevere. Each perceived wrong turn forced you to confront hidden fears or limiting beliefs, eventually steering you to a place of deeper understanding. Or consider those quiet nudges, the faint whispers in your mind that said, read this book, reach out to that old friend, stop what you're doing and listen. How many times have you followed those whispers and discovered something remarkable? Nothing that speaks to you at a soul level is random. This message included. Chosen one, the fact that these words reach you at this precise instant indicates that you have entered a pivotal season. You may feel it as an inexplicable heaviness or a bright sense of anticipation, or maybe a restless longing to break free from the patterns that have defined you. This season might be a passage from confusion to clarity, from stagnation to momentum, or from heartbreak to healing. What's certain is that you're standing at a threshold, and crossing it requires both surrender and courage. You can't keep living exactly as you have and expect different results. Nor can you cling to old narratives, old wounds, or old definitions of success. To truly step into what's calling you, you must be willing to let go of the life you've outgrown so that you can embrace the life that's waiting. You might be asking, what life is that? How can I know where I'm supposed to go? The answer often lies in your deepest desires, those quiet hopes you rarely voice because they seem too grand, too impossible, or too wondrous to be real. Pay attention to the daydreams that make your heart flutter, to the curiosity that lights a fire in your thoughts. Also, pay attention to the frustrations that keep nudging you, those persistent feelings that you're not living in alignment with your truest self. Instead of brushing these signals aside, examine them. They hold clues about the path you're meant to follow or the beliefs you need to release. You may also notice that around this time, certain signs or synchronicities amplify. Perhaps you've seen the same number sequence repeatedly or keep hearing the same phrase in unlikely places. Maybe a friend recommends a book, and you realize it aligns perfectly with questions you've been wrestling with. These nudges are not trivial. They're bits of cosmic guidance, small but powerful confirmations that you are, in fact, on the brink of an awakening or a pivotal shift. Lean into them, act on them. If they spark a question, chase the answer. If they fill you with wonder, let that wonder guide you to your next step. Of course, encountering a message at the right time doesn't guarantee the transformation you seek. Free will remains your responsibility. Even if the universe orchestrates the perfect conditions for your growth, you still have to choose to grow. You can't passively receive a new destiny without deciding to pivot toward it, making the necessary changes in your mindset, environment, or daily habits. This is where your personal power comes in. It's not about controlling every aspect of your life, but about recognizing the choices that lie in front of you. Will you cling to the safety of what's known, or step into the unknown where true freedom lives? Will you stifle your voice to fit in, or speak your truth even if it shakes the ground beneath your feet? The window of divine timing is open, but stepping through it is your act of courage. If fear threatens to paralyze you, remember that you've faced fear before and survived. Recall the last time you did something that scared you, an honest conversation, a leap of faith, and how it expanded your world. Fear rarely disappears on its own. It diminishes when you act in spite of it, realizing that you're capable of more than you believed. As you stand at this threshold, fear may whisper that you're not ready, not worthy, or too broken. That's simply not true. The very reason fear arises is that something essential is at stake, something with the power to reshape your life. Let that be your cue that you're exactly where you need to be. Sometimes the hardest part of receiving a timely message is releasing the skepticism that keeps you from letting it fully land. It's natural to wonder if it's all just coincidence or if you're reading too much into random events. Yet deep down, you know that magic often hides in the mundane. A single sentence can spark a revolution in your heart if it arrives at the precise moment your soul is craving it. A chance encounter can alter the course of your future if you recognize it as more than mere luck. This is the essence of living in alignment. Being open to wonder, to possibility, to the notion that the universe is far more interactive than our rational minds often allow. Chosen one, if you find yourself on the verge of tears right now or feeling a surge of emotion that you can't fully explain, allow it to flow. That is your soul responding to the validity of these words, to the intangible sense that you are indeed being guided, that you are not walking alone through a meaningless world. Sometimes, tears are the only language that can convey the depth of recognition you feel in your spirit. Let them remind you that your heart has not hardened beyond repair, that you remain beautifully receptive to the whispers of destiny. Let them wash away the doubt that says nothing can change. Because so much can change, and it can change more quickly than you imagine, once you decide to move in the direction your heart has been calling. You might ask, what can I do to honor this message? How do I ensure that I don't miss out on the gift it offers? One powerful step is to create some space in your life for stillness. Even 5 or 10 minutes of intentional silence each day can make room for the deeper wisdom of your being to surface. In that silence, you may hear the faint echo of a dream long buried, or a forgotten passion that yearns to be resurrected. You may also find direction about practical steps, like reaching out to someone, applying for a new job, or beginning a creative project. Stillness doesn't require total emptiness. It requires willingness to listen. Another step is to examine your environment. Are you surrounded by people who encourage your growth or who belittle your aspirations? Is your daily routine draining your energy or fueling your spirit? Sometimes, a timely message arrives to remind you that you need a change of scenery, be it physical, emotional, or digital. This could mean decluttering your living space to create an atmosphere conducive to creativity, or consciously choosing to step away from social media channels that clutter your mind with negativity. Or it might mean limiting time with individuals who perpetually drain your energy. While it can be uncomfortable, creating a space that nurtures your soul is essential if you're to make the most of divine timing. You may also sense a growing desire to connect with others on a deeper level. After all, messages of this nature rarely encourage isolation. Instead, they nudge us to find our tribe, to gather with others who resonate at a similar frequency. Seek out communities, whether online or in person, where the topics you find enthralling are celebrated. Share your experiences, your epiphanies, your doubts. In doing so, you not only open yourself to wisdom from those who've walked similar paths, but you also validate their journeys by showing up with your authentic presence. True community flourishes when people willingly stand in the vulnerability of shared growth. As you integrate this message, you might find that life doesn't suddenly become devoid of challenges. In fact, new challenges might arise that test your commitment to this new awareness. This is a natural part of the expansion process. Obstacles appear not to thwart you, but to strengthen the qualities you'll need for your next phase. If your desire is to become more courageous, life will present situations that require courage. If your longing is to cultivate patience, you may face delays that force you to practice endurance. Look at these hurdles not as signs that you're off track, but as affirmations that the growth you seek is indeed unfolding, that the universe is actively refining you in the ways you've unconsciously asked for. In moments of doubt, revisit the precise alignment that brought you here. Let the memory of this timing serve as a pillar of faith when all else seems uncertain. If the universe orchestrated for you to encounter these words at this moment, who's to say it won't continue orchestrating in your favor? This is not about adopting a complacent attitude that expects life to hand you everything without effort. It's about remembering that you are a beloved co-creator in an ongoing dialogue with life. Your role is to show up wholeheartedly, taking bold action when inspired, listening keenly when it's time to be still, and always holding space for magic to happen. If you feel stuck, one helpful approach is to frame your questions differently. Instead of asking, "Why isn't anything happening?" try asking, "What can I do to invite more alignment into my life?" Or, "How can I grow so that I'm ready for the opportunities that are waiting for me?" By shifting the focus to your own evolution and readiness, you step into a mindset that attracts solutions instead of fixating on problems. In this way, you tune your mind to a higher station, receptive to the creative flow that can deliver you from your current stagnation. Dear Chosen One, the fact that this message reaches you at precisely the right time isn't just a sweet reassurance. It's a call to action. You are being summoned to step out of the shadows of your unhealed wounds and unfulfilled dreams. You are being reminded that your life carries significance, that you hold keys to doors yet unopened, that within you lie answers to questions the world hasn't even formed. Embracing this truth may feel daunting, especially if you've spent years believing you're destined to remain small. But that doesn't make it any less true. There is a version of you that stands tall in your uniqueness, harnessing the gifts that once felt like burdens and transforming them into blessings, for yourself and for those you have yet to meet. And let's be clear, transformation isn't about denying the parts of you that still feel messy or incomplete. It's about including all of who you are, the shadow and the light, in a journey of continual becoming. In fact, the aspects of yourself that you've been most reluctant to face or to show might be the very elements that unlock your destiny once integrated. The shame you carry can become a bridge of empathy. The sorrow you endured can become your well of compassion. The mistakes you made can become road signs that direct others away from the same pitfalls. Every piece of your story has value, and each piece can be redeemed in the grand mosaic of your life. Along the way, you might sense your intuition sharpening. Perhaps you'll feel guided to read certain books or study topics that never attracted you before. You might discover new creative outlets or passions you didn't know you had. Some nights, your dreams might be more vivid, presenting you with symbols or scenarios that echo your waking challenges. If any of these experiences occur, lean in. Explore them with curiosity, trusting that they've arrived for a purpose. Even if you don't fully grasp that purpose yet, your willingness to engage can hasten the revelations you seek. Should you experience a lull, a period where nothing seems to be happening, do not mistake it for a lack of progress. Often, the most potent growth occurs in the stillness, beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Like seeds germinating in the dark soil, your internal transformations may need quiet intervals to develop roots strong enough to support external breakthroughs. During these times, treat yourself with kindness, patience, and steadfast faith. Avoid the trap of comparing your pace to others. Every journey unfolds in its own rhythm, and the only measure that truly matters is how much more aligned, more authentic, and more loving you become. Remember, too, that the divine or the universe, or however you conceive of a higher power, does not operate on a rigid schedule. It responds to the readiness of your heart, aligning events and encounters in ways that often surpass logical understanding. If this message has found you at the right time, it means that the subsequent steps will also be orchestrated for your highest good, so long as you maintain an open heart and a receptive mind. That doesn't mean everything will be easy or swift, but it does mean you'll never walk alone. Grace accompanies you, offering gentle guidance in your darkest hours and jubilant celebration in your times of triumph. One of the most vital habits you can form is regular reflection. Even a few minutes at the start or end of each day to ask yourself, what lessons am I learning? Where did I feel most alive today? Where did I feel resistance? Can yield immense clarity over time. By reviewing your experiences with intention, you begin to notice patterns, both empowering and self-sabotaging. You might spot recurring themes that underscore what you're meant to master next. And once you see a pattern, you can either nurture it if it serves you or transmute it if it doesn't. This level of self-awareness is one of the greatest catalysts for positive change. Another aspect to consider is how you speak about yourself and your life. Words hold power, especially when they echo beliefs deep within you. If you find yourself consistently saying, "I'm unlucky," "I never get what I want," or "my dreams are too big," you are reinforcing a narrative of lack and limitation. On the other hand, if you consciously shift your language to, "I am learning," "I am growing," "I welcome opportunities," you begin to rewrite your inner script. Over time, these rewired beliefs shape the lens through which you perceive and interact with the world, leading you to notice chances for growth and prosperity where before you saw only obstacles. Because this message is arriving at the perfect moment, it's likely that a part of you is already feeling more hopeful, more courageous, or more inclined to take that leap you've been postponing. Honor that feeling. Let it fuel the first steps into your new direction. Maybe that means setting aside time tonight to sketch out a plan for a business idea you've been toying with, or sending that email you've been afraid to draft. It might mean signing up for a class that piques your interest, or simply daring to rest if you've been on a relentless treadmill of productivity. Whatever the nudge in your spirit, follow it, trusting that it won't lead you astray. At times, you may worry about what others will think of your newfound clarity or resolve. Perhaps you fear being ridiculed or disappointing those who've grown accustomed to your old ways. Yet the people who truly love and respect you will adapt to your growth, even if it unsettles them initially. And for those who can't or won't accept it, consider that the mismatch might simply mean your paths are diverging. A fundamental truth of transformation is that not everyone who began the journey with you is meant to finish it by your side. As you evolve, so do your relationships, and that's part of life's beautiful dance. You can release what no longer aligns, making space for connections that nourish the person you're becoming. If ever you feel overwhelmed by this wave of possibility, remember that you're not expected to do it all at once. Grand transformations are often the cumulative result of many small, consistent steps. Focus on the immediate next move, whether that's learning a skill, reaching out for guidance, or rearranging your priorities. Each little success will give you momentum, building your confidence for the bigger leaps that lie ahead. At the same time, trust that there is divine timing at play. Some doors will only open when you've integrated certain lessons or cultivated certain qualities within yourself. Don't be surprised if your emotional landscape shifts dramatically. You might have days of inexplicable joy followed by sudden dips into sadness. Embrace these emotional surges as signals that your heart is stretching beyond its old capacity. Like a muscle that's never been fully used, your emotional body might strain and ache as it grows. Allow it. Cry if you need to. Shout if you must. Laugh spontaneously, or retreat into solitude to let your feelings percolate. These waves will eventually find a more stable rhythm. But for now, they are part of the process that ensures your transformation isn't superficial, but deeply rooted in genuine change. When impatience creeps in, as it likely will, remind yourself that you're playing a long game. Divine timing respects no deadlines, and profound change is rarely an overnight affair. Rather than pressuring yourself to arrive, focus on being present at each stage of becoming. Enjoy the incremental shifts that bring subtle improvement to how you see yourself and your possibilities. Celebrate small milestones. Each one is a building block, laying a foundation strong enough to support the eventual edifice of your dreams. Also, never underestimate the power of gratitude. Giving thanks for what you already have, for the progress you've made, and for the opportunities you sense on the horizon, all serve to anchor you in a mindset of abundance. This isn't about ignoring challenges or deluding yourself into forced positivity. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the gifts embedded in every experience. Gratitude elevates your energy, making you receptive to even more blessings. It's like tuning into a frequency that broadcasts a relentless message of, yes, more good can and will come. Chosen one, as you stand on this precipice of transformation, understand that the message that found you now is but one spark in a grand sequence of revelations yet to unfold. Each new insight will build on the last, guiding you toward a destiny more radiant than you can currently conceive. There might be days when you question the worthiness of your dreams, or moments when the world's chaos seems to overshadow your personal growth. In those times, return to this message as a beacon, recalling that it appeared in your life precisely when you needed it. Let it remind you that you, too, are part of a larger, loving plan, one that intricately aligns each soul with the lessons and blessings they require. If you ever feel alone, recall that countless others are undergoing similar awakenings. Though you might not see them in your immediate circle, they exist around the world, each receiving their own timely nudges, each grappling with the choice to remain as they are or to evolve. Some of these souls you'll meet, forging connections that transcend backgrounds and beliefs. Others you'll never meet, yet their collective energy is supporting your growth in ways invisible but profound. We are all interwoven in this web of possibility, and by stepping into your highest path, you contribute to the upliftment of the global tapestry. As this message draws closer to its conclusion, let me remind you once more to type 777 in the comments if you haven't already. That simple act is your contract, your vow, your affirmation of readiness. It signifies that you recognize the significance of encountering these words at this particular intersection of your life. It is a sign that you are committed to weaving them into your daily reality. Because yes, you are the chosen one, chosen not by some arbitrary external decree, but by your own soul's calling to step beyond mediocrity and into the domain of creative, purposeful existence. Closing your eyes for a moment, imagine a wave of light traveling from these words directly into your heart, carrying with it the essence of divine timing, of synchronicity, of unwavering hope. Let that light settle in your chest, growing warmer with each breath, until it radiates outward through every cell of your body. Bask in the knowledge that you are exactly where you need to be, that each second of your life has led you here, and that the future is pregnant with miracles waiting to be birthed through your willingness to act, to trust, and to keep your heart open. And so, dear chosen one, hold your head high and step boldly into the next chapter of your unfolding story. Remember, this message was crafted not by accident, but by the silent orchestration of cosmic love, ensuring that at just the right moment, you would be reminded of your inherent brilliance, your limitless potential, and your indispensable role in the grand design. Embrace it, live it, let it shape your thoughts and your actions. And when the time comes, because it surely will, pass this light on to another soul in need of timely inspiration. In doing so, you become a conduit for the same grace that reached you precisely when you were ready. This is your time. You have everything you need to begin again, to push past your old boundaries, to dream bigger and love deeper. The path may not always be easy, but it will be real, and it will be yours. May you move forward with unshakable courage, sustained by the knowledge that the entire universe conspires for you to succeed at what you are truly meant to do. Trust the timing, trust yourself, and trust that the steps ahead will illuminate exactly when you need them to. Go forth, chosen one, and let the world see the luminosity you've carried in your soul all along.